Be a quick video, man. I was watching this cat that I follow, and he mentioned something that was pretty profound in nature. It was wisdom. It was wisdom that he got. And what he said was, he was having some issues about some stuff that he was doing on his videos. And he said he kind of connected with a cat that he looks up to as his big brother. And the big brother told him, the way that you're conducting yourself is not professional. Not as professional as it needs to be if you're trying to move into a certain arena. And what he learned from part of that conversation was men needed to listen to men. Young men need to listen to men. And I think what I'm trying to do through my channel is I'm trying to speak to young men and older men, but speak to you from a perspective without all of the extra bravado, all of the braggadocious stuff that you see out here. I try to speak in terms where I'm just giving you as much positive information as I can, giving you workarounds, because life is this thing where it's an ebb and flow. You know what I mean? Like I saw something the other day that was talking about, you know, the heart monitor that you have when you're in the hospital and they have you hooked up to one of the machines, or the EKG, I think it's EKG or something like that, when they're monitoring your heart rate. And your heart rate has to go like this, and that means that you're alive. But when it goes like this, that means you're a goner. And that's kind of what life is doing. And so I think what happens a lot of times is you have these guys get on the videos and they're telling you all of this extra lavish stuff. You know, how they were able to achieve this, what they were able to do with this, how they have this kind of wealth, how they have this kind of influence, what they have as far as, you know, so-called access to women. And then they'll, you know, you got the other men who come in here and tell you, hey, this is what you got to do. This is the stuff that you need to handle. They're telling you in this certainty. They're speaking in this certainty that that's what you have to do. See, they listen to what I'm talking about. And what I get on here and I just do is I try to just tell you, hey, listen, you got options. You got to look at life a little bit differently. These are some of the things that maybe I've gone through. But it's not in a way where I'm trying to prove something to you. Because I don't have to be on the videos stating anything. I just think that a different perspective is needed, because you have to filter through all of this other stuff that's all going on around. See, a lot of folks have stuff to prove. A lot of folks are trying to get views. And they don't want to tell you stuff that is not going to be attractive. It's not attractive. It's not slick. It's not exciting. It's not all this action. And I'm not trying to give you that, because 99% of the men that are viewing these videos, viewing all these other videos, are living just a regular old life. And there's nothing wrong with you living a regular life. I talked about that before. You may wish that you want to live this higher life, but there's a lot of things that come with this other life, being in the limelight, having all the wealth in the world and stuff like that. It's a lot of pressures, a lot of things that you can get wrapped up in, and it can take you down a dark path. So, listening to that guy when he was talking about that men listen to other men, that's what I want to gain when you all watch these videos is that you're listening to a man who's experienced a lot of different things in my life. And I'm just going to give you the raw, the uncut. I'm going to try to be as positive as I possibly can be, because that is my nature. I have my days where, I get upset or have some anger and stuff like that. I'm human just like everybody else. But for the most part, my nature has always been to try to be inspirational or motivational. I've always been like that. So I just try to give that stuff to you all. And I want you all to center your stuff around listening to men who sound like they're just making regular common sense. Nothing flashy. I learned from my uncle. My uncle was someone who brought me from a place of where I came from in New York and brought me to the Midwest. And it took a battle. There was a battle that we had. We absolutely had a battle because I had a different mindset from when I was in New York. But we battled. And I have to tell y'all the story one time, but we battled. But then something clicked. One day, an interaction between he and I. And it clicked. And it was like, you got to listen to this man. You have to listen to this man. This man can take you from this other mentality to becoming a young man, to becoming a man. And when I finally set my hands on that and set my focus on that, my life completely changed. Just to listen. Because he wasn't trying to steer me the wrong way. And I could tell based off of his actions that he absolutely was trying to live as righteous as he possibly could. But it was the fact that I needed to listen. That was the part I was missing. I had to listen. So then when I listened, I gained all this knowledge. I gained all this wisdom. And it helped me become the man that I am today. And then, with that wisdom that I got, I was able to transfer that to my son. And now my son is the young man that he is today. So, with that, listen to men who are giving you common sense, wisdom, without all the extra bells and whistles. And don't sound like they have something to prove. And a lot of times you'll get that from smaller channels. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody else has their motives. I understand you want to make money and all that. More power to you. But when you engage with there being a reward system attached, you tend to be a little bit disingenuous with what you're saying because you want to try to follow a trend. And I'm not about that, man. I want to seal a mark to where somebody says, hey, you know what, man? I took what this guy was saying and speaking about, and this thing helped me change part of my life, helped me with my kids, helped me with myself, something like that. That's a reward in itself, because what we want is really, we want a better world, man. The money thing, as we see, the money thing can corrupt a lot of different folks, and it's doing it right now. But if you become a good stewardess, then you are able to contribute and change people's lives and change other people's lives and change generations. We got folks that are coming up behind us. We need to set the example. So anyway, listening to that cat, that's what made me want to just put this video on here. Listen to men. Listen to men. No matter how much of a challenge it is. Again, I told you before, it was a challenge for me listening to my uncle, but it finally set in. But there's a reason why we're here. There's a reason why we have the knowledge and the wisdom we have. Don't let that go to waste. You know what I mean? Because if you do, then you just rewrite the book that's already there, And then you go through a whole bunch of other issues and problems and stuff like that that you didn't have to go through when somebody was telling you all along, hey, this is kind of the blueprint to life. See what I'm saying? Anyway, I am going to go to the park. My third time out. I'm still trying to run on this trend early in the morning, getting out there, doing my thing. Probably a little tired today, but that's cool, man, because I'm still active. I'm going to catch you on the next note. Peace out.